Hi, folks. Usually after I post a post-match reaction pod or a preview pod for a Rangers match, I'll do a couple of little short videos, YouTube shorts. It can be anything from 15 seconds to 3 minutes long. That are basically an excerpt I've taken from the longer video, just to kind of remind you, if you're interested, that stuff is there. That material is out there for you to watch, for you to listen to. And I wasn't going to do it. I was going to do it a bit different today. I wasn't going to take an excerpt from yesterday's video because it was a technical nightmare. The video yesterday, my microphone detached itself from the phone within about 30 seconds of the video starting, so there's a lot of background noise coming in. And even before we discussed the fact it was a terrible day on the pitch for Rangers, my voice was then completely out of sync with what you were seeing on camera. It was just a really bad recording all round, and I was going to come on and make a wee joke, like, because you just want to keep everybody informed that that's. But it was far worse than I realised. It was far worse than I realised because I just got the news that a Rangers supporter actually passed away at yesterday's game, and I want to pass on my condolences to the friends and the family of the Rangers supporter who lost their life at Ibrox yesterday. Became ill during the game with Dundee, and that the supporter was in the main stand, which I'm in the main stand as well. And in the course of my video, I mentioned an incident, something was going on, because it was a different part of the main stand for myself, but everybody in my area just thought it was one of these far less serious things that happens during a game with such kind of high emotion. Rangers obviously terrible on the pitch yesterday. The manager's substitutions were getting a bad reaction from the crowd, so emotions were high, and I was dismissive and of something that I didn't realise was actually a far more serious incident. So it just became wildly inappropriate, the video. So I've deleted it. It's not something I would normally do. In fact, normally the worse Rangers are, the more pickup I get for the videos. But I thought this one's, it's got to go. It just wasn't appropriate in any way. So for it to still to be up there, so I've deleted that. But it's also, I need to so I've got 1,200 people have subscribed to my videos, which is more than I would ever have expected, certainly more than I deserve. And they're always a technical nightmare. There's stuff's either out of sync or it's back to front. Or the books behind me here, the titles are all back to front or something like that. I am not the most technically gifted when it comes to recording stuff, so the least I can do is make sure the pods are out there. There's always a preview of a big game. There's always a reaction to a big Rangers match out there. At least they're going to be there at some point. It's something to watch. So a lot of people had got in touch. So a lot of you have already seen the video and got all the reaction to the game. It was just my usual format of babbling on for ages for the first quarter of an hour to try and, the idea is I'm supposed to be getting rid of all the Celtic fans who've come on to watch a video about a bad Rangers result. But of course, that's become the main point of the video, so that's most people watch them for, I think. And then I go in to discuss the game itself. But because when Rangers have a bad day, I want everybody to keep the head, I'll do that whole thing of being kind of jokey and flippant about stuff. But yesterday I was being flippant about something that I didn't realise the true gravity of the situation. So puts things in perspective, obviously, about everything that happened on the pitch, or everything that isn't happening on the pitch right now. A fellow Blue Nose doesn't come back from the game, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. So I will be back to talk about the Pilsen game. Maybe it'll only be a post-match reaction, whatever, but it'll be impossible to talk about that without the wider context of our awful performance against Dundee yesterday, what that means for Russell Martin, what that means for the team, all the usual nonsense, which just now seems rather irrelevant. But it was just to let you know what happened, folks, and to apologise for having to remove one of the videos. But far worse things that can happen to us, and just say our thoughts with the family and the friends of a fellow Blue Nose. Cheers, trips.